All right, friends, welcome back to the Bulldog Breakdown. My name is Cody Mumo. I'm here with Coach Rocco inside tonight because it is actually cold. I think this is the latest in the podcast seasons that we've actually had to come inside.
Yeah.
But it's definitely cold enough to do so. But it's playoff season. We're getting ready to go play Broadway, but we're not gonna jump into that quite yet. We want to kind of finish out the season, talk about the ending of the season. We missed last week. I appreciate you letting me off of the podcast last week. Had some things with family, so we ducked down to North Carolina, came back. But I do want to jump here in just a second and talk about the Heritage game, talk a little bit about Liberty game before we get into what is coming up. But before we do that, we want to start each and every podcast with our friends from Maddox Heating, Electrical, and Air. They sponsor us. They bring us the Maddox Power Play of the game. So with that, let's head to the Maddox Power Play of the games.
It's time for the Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing, keeping your home running strong. Let's check out this week's big-time play. Maddox, let's get started. This week, the Maddox Power Play highlights two moments from two very different games. Both remind us why Bulldog football is special. Against Heritage, the situation was tough, down by 10, and late in the game, the team needed something to spark hope. Luke Gaither had taken a big hit earlier, but stepped back in and refused to back down. With under a minute left, he found Jordan Burns deep for a long touchdown. The rally fell short, but that one play was pure fight. It showed the kind of heart that does not disappear when things get hard. A week later against Liberty, the mood was entirely different. The Bulldogs were in control, and it was a chance for some new faces to shine. Quarterback Jamison Chadwell rolled out and trusted a teammate who rarely gets moments like this. Brock Starnes slipped behind the defense, and Chadwell delivered a beautiful throw for their second score together this season. That was your Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing. When it comes to your home, Maddox says, let's get started.
Well, all right. Two power plays of the game.
Yeah.
Maddox got 2 for 1.
That's
and
right.
That's great. 2 power plays. Just real quick on those and jump back into the Heritage game. That play from Luke to Jordan, right there at the end of the game, we really needed that. That there was that spark of we've got to get down and score, and suddenly in one play we're down there.
Yeah, it was such a back and forth game all night long, and for us to be able to answer again, with a minute or so to give us a shot to even have an onside kick opportunity to try to get the ball back. I mean, it'll force the game to go right down to the wire, and woulda, coulda, shoulda. Other things could have happened. It could have been a different outcome, but that was a big play. And then the play that Brock Starnes caught against Liberty. Brock, doesn't play a whole lot of offense, and that was his second touchdown of the year. And Jamison threw a really nice ball, so I was happy for both of those guys, getting an opportunity to play a lot of minutes that night, and then to be able to score a touchdown.
Yeah, it's still unique to me to watch a left-handed quarterback, to watch a quarterback run to his left and to be able to deliver. That was pretty cool. Great plays. As we kind of get into this, I don't want to, even though we're 2 weeks removed, I want to talk a little bit about the Heritage game. Some of the things that you saw going into that. What a great team they are.
Yeah.
Well coached, as you always say. But let's talk about the mindset going in, how you felt your guys were prepared.
Yeah.
Did you see things differently? Were there different things that they threw at you guys that you weren't prepared for? Tell me how it unfolded. Let's talk about the game itself.
Yeah. No, I mean, Heritage is a team that does what they do, and they're just very good at it. We offensively, we scored 5 touchdowns. They scored 5 touchdowns, and then, we had some mishaps on special teams that could have, would have, should have put the game on our side. But I think offensively we executed the very admirably against a very good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't give up much more than 6 points a game leading up to our game, and then we scored 33 on them. We ran the ball pretty effectively, with probably rushed for more yards than anybody that had rushed against them all year. And then we threw for 4 touchdowns that night too.
Yeah.
So we really had both sides of our offense, run game, pass game, operating at a very high level. Defensively, I think we could have played a little bit better on that side of the ball, missed some tackles, some run fits, or have not been good. But it led itself to a very exciting back and forth game where 35-33. I mean, people got their money's worth for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a football fan, obviously I'm Bulldog through and through. I want the Bulldogs to win, but that was an exciting football game to be a part of. To be there and see. They've got some exceptional athletes on that team, and they were in the right place, right time. But our guys, the interceptions were incredible, for a game to come down to the very end, last drive was great. For the halftime, you guys came out of halftime, and immediately there's a big score.
Yeah.
Walk me through that play, because I heard different guys talking about it on the sideline. Did you guys know immediately this is the play we're going to run when we come out of it?
Yeah, we even going back right before the beginning of the second half, we knew that we were getting the ball kicked to us in the second half.
Right.
So we had the ball at the end of the first half. So you really want to, dominate the end of the first half and then the opportunity to score, to do something in the very beginning of the second half. So we had a 2-minute drive at the end of the first half, which we took the ball right down the field, got in the red zone, and then got an opportunity to kick a field goal. And unfortunately, we missed the field goal. So, that could have put us up at halftime. We went into halftime just down by 2 points, I think it was, 1 point. And then we came back at halftime where we made some adjustments. We felt like we could run the ISO play, which we hadn't run all first half, but often you want to see how the team is playing you before you can really design how you're going to block an ISO play. And so that very first play of the second half, we kind of diagrammed it on the board at halftime, and sure enough, it hit just like we thought it would. And Jaden went 78, I forget what it was, 70 yards for a touchdown right out of the gate. That then put us ahead again, right out of the gate in the second half.
So many momentum shifts in that game. It was a lot, and as you look at the game as a whole, what do you, from a coaching perspective, what do you take away from a game like that? Like, because there's a lot that you pour into this. So, what do you come away with?
Yeah, I mean, we just like I identified earlier, we did defensively, we just didn't fit well, and they're a tenacious team and play with a lot of passion and energy, and we have to match that intensity and that passion. I don't know that I would say we were consistently playing at the level that they were with their energy and passion. We did a lot of good things, but I think on that very night they played like they wanted it more than we did. And, you can't win against a good team if you don't match their passion the way they played. I mean, we have beaten Heritage, I think the last 3 or 4 times we played them. So we've done it before. We were just a little bit off that night, and we didn't execute, consistently well. We did some really good things, but we weren't as consistent as we need to be. And obviously, the hope and prayer is that we see them again.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, obviously, it's a long road to where that road would come back together again. But is there part of you as a coach that goes, man, I'd like another shot?
Absolutely. And Brad, I'm sure Brad, doesn't want to see us again. Not to say that they wouldn't be confident that they could beat us again, but I think they feel they might have a safer or easier road to hoe. Just like last year, when we beat them in the regular season, they wanted a shot at us again in the region finals, which they got. And fortunate for us, we beat them the second time. Well, I'm sure they would think that they could beat us the second time
Sure.
too, but I don't think they want to see us again.
Yeah, Coach Bradley, I love the fact he walked back through the line afterwards, and he told all them boys, he goes, "We're going to see you again. We're going to see you again. We're going to see you again." Before we jump away from the Heritage game, at the end of the game, you held the boys for just a little bit before they walked across the line, and I got to be in there, and I heard what you were saying to those guys. But for those that were watching from the side, what was your message to them before they walked?
Yeah, two things. I wanted them to feel what just happened, and I wanted them to understand that we definitely have an opportunity to play them again if we can control our own destiny and clean up some things. Because as I said, we didn't play the cleanest of games. But then again, I wanted them to walk across the field with class and not have any stupid comments made in a frustrating way and so. I guess I spoke a little bit longer than I thought because I turned away, looked over my shoulder, and the Heritage team was like waiting there in the handshaking line. And I said, "Oh, hurry up, let's go." But that's all it was. Those 2 points needed to be made.
No, I think it was good. Obviously that we wanted to get across there, but I think it was good because it's not like the game was decided, 10 minutes before and we cruised to the end knowing the outcome. It was the last moment, and it was hotly contested. That was major. So, that's good. I know we got to go play Broadway. We got other things to do, but there is that part of me that wants to see them again, for sure. Coming up this week, let's just do this. I don't want to disrespect Liberty. We did play Liberty. Going from a game like Heritage, do you have the conversation with the guys of that was such an emotional game? Don't lose focus on this one as well, because is there ever a situation where that can jump up and bite you?
Absolutely, and Liberty had a couple really significant players, quarterback, running back, a lineman, a receiver that on any given night, if everything hit right for them, they could make it really difficult for you. You saw in that game, we got up substantially early on, and we wanted to play a lot of young kids. We brought up some JV kids, so because they didn't play a JV game against Liberty, so we were hopeful that we were going to be able to get a lot of playing time with some of the JV kids, which we did. But it got hairy there, and they were. They didn't have a large roster.
Yeah, so they had like 21 guys.
Yeah, so they had to continue to play who their varsity starters were. And we were playing, JV kids, and then they were scoring on us. And, it's like, did we put our first team back in? And I didn't know.
Did you consider that at all?
Not really. I felt comfortable enough that, we can use the clock and so forth to get to the end without having to do that. And I'm glad it worked out that way. But, we got a lot of playing time for those guys that are backups and then the JV kids. So it was a good experience for them.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, a guy that we saw a lot of good plays from over the last couple of games, we've selected to be our Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week. I want to come back from that. I'm going to ask you a little bit about him, but I'm not going to tell you guys until we go to it. So let's go check out our Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week. All right, Bulldog fans, we are here with the Osterbind Bulldog of the Week. And Jay Books, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, excited to have you on the podcast. Senior year, big time stuff. We're in second season now. We're going into the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into any of the deep questions, practice has suddenly got cold.
Yeah.
You're a big guy. You're a lineman in the trenches. Do you guys like the cold, or you like forget this?
We like the cold. Yeah, real dogs come out when it's cold.
Real dogs come out when it's cold. Tell me a little bit about practice this week. I know that as we're filming this is only Tuesday, but season's over. The main regular season's over now. now you're in this. You got to win every week,
Yes, sir.
or you don't move on. How's that change practice for you?
Gotta be very mentally focused and very locked down on everything. We gotta pay attention to details and do what we were coached to do and play our part and do our positions.
That's awesome. Coach NJ sometimes doesn't get a lot on the stat line,
Right.
but a lot of guys are getting their stats because he's doing his job up in the middle there.
Yeah.
What's it like to have NJ on this team on that line for you when you're calling plays, knowing you got a guy like that in there?
I mean, NJ has had a tremendous year. Honestly, I think he would agree going into this season. I don't know that we thought he was going to be a starter on the offensive side of the ball. We looked at him as more of a defensive lineman, and I think that's the way he looks at himself. But we just didn't have anyone really stepping up at one of the guard positions on the offensive line. And it's like, we got to go with him. And so, and back when he was 290 pounds, this is like 30 pounds ago at the beginning of the year,
Right.
he was having a hard time playing offense and defense. And, it was 90 degrees back in August and so forth. He's taken off literally 25, 30 pounds. He's worked hard this year because he wanted to be productive on both sides of the ball. And, so I'm just so proud of him, how he's accepted the challenge. He's become a very good offensive lineman, and defense might be where his future is. And we've always known he's good on defense, but to be able to be a two-way guy, and now that the temperature has dropped a lot and he's dropped some weight, I mean, he's plays with a great motor and a very impactful player on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, that's great. NJ, he talks about the beginning of the season. I remember watching you guys running 4 quarters, and that last thing, that's tough. But your physique has changed a lot since week 1. How has it helped you with playing the game of football? How have you seen that helping?
It gives me one win. I don't get tired as quickly as I used to do. I can stay in the game and help my team out longer and longer periods of time. I don't have to come out the game and take those breaks. When I was at 290, I was having to come out the game and take those breaks. That's why I was coach seen me as mainly like a one ball player. But now that I've dropped that weight, and it's just took me over the top.
Yeah,
I've gotten faster too. So just play both roles.
Yeah, I've seen it's interesting because I've watched that dynamic over the season, seeing your number be in there a lot more. And honestly, the last couple games, seeing that number in the backfield, making some really drive altering plays. That's really cool. We didn't get to do a podcast last week, and so we didn't really talk much about didn't get to talk at all yet about the Heritage game, and so we played Heritage, we've played Liberty. Tell me, for you guys to play a game like we did at City Stadium, to come down to the last drive and for not to turn out in our favor, how has that been for you guys as a team? Moving forward and mentally being prepared to come out and play Liberty like you guys did and really go into the playoffs?
I mean, it was a learning experience. I feel like we were locked in, but we weren't fully locked in. So as time goes by, we have to focus in each and every day and do our assignment each and every day and just do our role. Like some people's like missing gaps here. We all have to stick to our gaps and do what we're coached to do. So, I mean, it just goes like that.
The dynamic of your team, this is your senior year.
Yes,
You've got a lot of guys on this team that look up to you. Early in the year, because people were describing this team as we said, like a brotherhood, like a family.
Yes, sir.
NJ, tell me how the dynamic is now. Do you feel that continues? Is it growing in that sense?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's come a long way. I mean, we can all each other call. And we need anything. I mean, we can call each other. And it's there. We just need somebody to talk to. We can call one of our teammates, and they just somebody to talk to. We can call our coaches, and it'll be somebody to talk to. I mean, we really like a family. Like it's just us against everybody.
Yeah, I had the privilege of coming to the homecoming speeches and all of that. And I love hearing you and your perspective. But within this team, the aspect of faith, belief in Christ, and how that is kind of the central theme of this team. For you, what does it mean to have a team that's focused on faith as much as it is on football?
I mean, you always have to put God first. And we play for a crowd of one, which is him above. So, yeah, I'm just leave it at that.
That's awesome. Hey, excited to travel to watch you guys play in Broadway this week. One of the most pressing questions that I ever ask a football player is what is the best pregame snack?
Skittles, got him
Skittles, more Tom Lynch.
Skittles.
Hey, Bulldog Nation, number 70, NJ Brooks. Thank you for hanging out with us. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
And that was your Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week, NJ Brooks. What a good guy. He makes me smile every time that he's around. He's always funny.
He's always got a smile on his face in school. He's a teammate that is really loved by everybody on the team, and he's come a long way. I mean, we talked about how he really trimmed down and made himself a player that could contribute on both sides of the ball and plays with a good motor. I mean, he's a joy to have on our team.
Is that something that you guys encouraged him to do with trimming down?
Yeah, we do. But you know what? He and his dad is kind of a mentor to him and has worked hard with him in the conditioning aspects of things. I think his dad likes to be a gym rat as well, and so it's something that they do together. But I know even through the season, NJ's been jumping rope, and he goes home from practice and does extra work to kind of keep his weight down. And it's benefited him for sure.
Yeah, I've watched in those sprints the 4 quarters and stuff. I watched from the beginning. I got to come out and watch it, and he was falling across that line again.
He was struggling. Yeah.
Now you can see that sense of purpose. Yeah, what a great guy. So Bulldog of the Week, NJ Brooks. Let's jump ahead now. The season is done, right? We put that one to bed. It's written. The story's written. Now we get a whole nother chapter. But you and I just talking. That's a big chapter. We got a long road to get back to where we want to be. It starts this week at Broadway, which is 2 hours away from here. Tell me about Broadway. We've seen them before, but for those that maybe are new on this trip with us, maybe haven't seen Broadway. What's this team that we're playing? What kind of team are we playing? What are we looking for?
Broadway has a very rich football tradition. I mean, they've been in region playoffs and whatever for years. We played them last year, actually. I think it was in the second round. And they played us tough. I mean, you talk about a team that has passion and energy and whatever. They really bring it. I have a sense that they will pack their joint out. It'll be their first home playoff game in like 15 years. So they are ravenous about their football. I don't think they really love the LCA Bulldogs, whether it's football or all of our sports. So I can see how, there's going to be a lot of energy and passion in the building. And that's what playoff football is all about.
Yeah. Hey, if you're watching Broadway, we love you guys. We're excited to come up.
We love them. I don't know why they may not like us.
I get messages on social media every once in a while from them telling how much they love. Hey, we're the number 6 seed. This is kind of a new experience for a lot of the guys on this team to be in a position that, in order to get back to the top of the mountain, we're going to have to go on the road.
That's right.
Sometimes that can help by putting a chip on the shoulder. Nothing is taken for granted. Sometimes if you get all of them at home and there's this expectation that you're going to win it all, sometimes you can slack off. Do you see these guys coming into practice this week with an understanding of how important each of these games are?
Yeah, they do. Again, we've been there before. Our guys know the timetable that goes along with the postseason and so forth. We've been nursing some bumps and bruises as well, and starting to get a couple guys back, and then unfortunately lost a couple guys in the Liberty game last week. And so, I mean, it's football in the 11th week of a season, and so as much as there's excitement and going into the postseason and the new season, there's still a little bit of licking your wounds and having to suck it up and continue to push through the grind of what postseason football is.
Is being on the road more thought about as more of a distraction or an obstacle than it actually is? I mean, you guys got to go 2 hours playing another stadium. Is it just another football game, or does that actually play into the mentality of
it definitely plays into the mentality of it. What we've talked about, just being creatures of habit, football players or athletes in general. So you're in a routine, you're used to your routine. Here in the Seminole District, even the away games are all pretty close proximity. So you have that, what you do, in your own building, and then you get in the bus and you go, and then what do you do there? Well, now, I mean, we're traveling a long way to get where we're going. I do think that going all the way back to the Ironton trip, I think that will pay dividends in how we operated through that long trip that we took, and won't be the first time that we take a long bus trip. Get out, walk around, maybe grab something to eat. Have the team bonding together. But it's unique, and the schedule is different, and you have to be able to adapt to it.
Yeah. As we kind of conclude here, you've been in a lot of playoff locker rooms, player locker rooms. How does your message change, or does it change at all as you move into playoff football? Like when you talk with these guys, do you kind of change your tone a bit with them?
Well, I think the brevity of the end result, any game season could be over.
Right.
And so it's one and done. And, we prayed that, we're going to have another week together, but it's not guaranteed. You got to go out and get it done. So, I know I don't want the season to be over. I want to continue to go down this road with these kids, and I'm confident that they want to keep this thing going as well. But the fact is, the losers go home. The loser goes home, and it's an abrupt end. We're 7-2 right now. We've had a great year. Started out a little bit rocky, and there was probably some thought that, man, we might not get to where we are now, and so having a 7-2 season, being in the postseason, and still having an opportunity to control your own destiny, has been a great testimony for this team. But the reality is it's one and done, and it comes to an abrupt end for someone, and I just pray that it's not going to be us.
Yeah. Hardest part about coaching football in November for you?
Yeah.
This year or overall?
Yeah. I hate the cold weather. I do. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I grew up in it, but moving down to Virginia was in part to get away from the cold weather. And it, like you said earlier, today was brutally cold, and we've had a great fall, and we've been very spoiled in the weather. But when you get down into these last several weeks of postseason, going November into December, it can get a little bit nippy out there, to practice and stay focused.
Yeah. As we get ready to sign off, we always ask for Bulldog Nation to come out. This is a huge request to ask you guys to come 2 hours up the road, but it'll be worth it. And I'll tell you what, I know those boys with I expect family to be there.
Yeah.
But if anybody loves good football, we're going to play a good football team.
Yeah,
like you said, there's something fun about being in a football stadium where the home team came out to support their team.
Right.
Because then you got that, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, they are a very good team, very good. And they love their football. It's a great fan base. And certainly, we would love to have our fan base there to help, as I used the term earlier, match the intensity of the evening. If they're allowed to just dominate the atmosphere, it's going to be an uphill battle for our guys. So it would be great to have our fan base there to be able to rival that.
Dog Pound, we're looking at you.
Yeah, please.
Carpool, get up there any way you can. If you're from Broadway, I'd love some advice on where to get a good burger up in your area, because it's a little bit of a drive up there, and I'm always out for some good food. Hey, Coach, got anything else before we sign off for?
No, man, I'm just thankful to have another week with you, and hopefully we can continue.
Yep. Well, playoff football is here. Get your tickets on GoFan like we always do. Get there, be loud, and bring somebody with you. Let's have a good time and go Dogs.